Get out of the frame!
But my ankle! It's so gosh darn sexy.
Hey guys, happy Tuesday, and I'm Zach, and today is 4/16/2013, and this week's topic is coming out, and this is kind of relevant because I've done this quite recently. I came out August of this past summer, and it's been really a ride and journey since then, and it's really liberating. But coming out is really a serious thing, and other people, it's a hard thing to accomplish, and when people do it, it is an enormous weight lifted. Although at the same time, it can be a burden because not everyone's accepting, and at the same time, it's liberating because sometimes when you think you won't be accepted, you are, and it's always really tricky and it's really hard, and sometimes it's safer not to, and then sometimes it's better off you do. And it's a struggle of being true to yourself and finding yourself and knowing who you are as a person and having confidence to be able to face everybody. At the same time, there's people who go through their lives and don't come out, and there's people who are young and come out, and it takes a lot of bravery. And there's times where I can go on with scenarios that, it's really different for everybody. And I'm just going to share my coming out version because you know what? I got really easy, but I'm just going to share you my coming out story, so here it goes. Once upon a time, in a far-off universe, there once lived a very awkward child named Zach, and as he grew up, he discovered that he liked men, and that child is me, obviously. And the first time that I remember, and people can say whatever they want, but I remember it this way, is that I was in summer camp, and there was a counselor or a person who worked there, could have been high schooler. When you're young, everybody seems older. I was like around 5 or 6 at the time, and I still remember this very vaguely, but I remember I used to have feelings for him, and I thought he was really cute, and like I'd get really anxious when he was around me, and I just didn't know what it was. But at the time, for some reason, to be so young and to understand something that is different or something you feel like is wrong, is beyond me. You think that I wouldn't, but I grew up in a very Catholic house in a place where I was so used to seeing one man and one woman, and I wasn't used to seeing any of the options, and I didn't know what it was or anything. But to end that early chapter, I knew that I was somewhat different, but it was something that I kept really behind me. Going out the rest of my life in the chapters of everything, there was people, guys, and other people, guys started getting, who were my age, started getting, the hormones and the horniness, and, all they talk about, openly is about girls, and the boobies and stuff like that, and...
You pigs!
Go away. Ow! That one hurt! Ah! Go away. Ah! But as everybody progressed and became older, I, didn't really lean that way. When they would talk about it, I'd be like, oh yeah, girls. In the back of my mind, I was really, could you not? But in the back of my mind, I was constantly fighting a battle with myself, and I didn't know what gay was until 6th grade. But when I always remembered it being used and like that's so gay, and never really knew what it really meant, unfortunately. But I finally did figure out what it was after a while. I don't really know how I did, but in 6th grade I used to get bullied. I was called faggot. I was told, and I guess since then I just really tried to work on myself, and I tried to change myself. But these are just the pre-stages of everything. So my coming out story. I was like sitting in my room, and I was laying there, and I and I was just sitting there, and that night before I was thinking about it, and I was thinking, a lot of in-depth thoughts, and upon them was, I'm so different. I always pray to God that I would change, but I don't. I don't want to go to hell, and I don't want to be different. And, I always, as a person, suppress myself, and I wouldn't always express myself, and the things I would want to say or things I want to do or things I wanted to express that I like, I couldn't because I was always scared that I'd be told that I was gay or, be told that I was different. And I didn't never really wanted to hear that because all, I wanted to do was just fit in and be like everybody else. But that night, I finally, I slept on it and I woke up and I just don't know why, but I finally came to the resolution that being different is a gift and there's nothing wrong with being different. And I don't want to live a life that's a lie, and I don't want to live a life that's not true to myself. And any second I take away from that, is a second of regret, is a second of pondering of what could be, or happiness I could have. And I didn't want to have those chains anymore, the chains of the character that I was making, the mask that I was hiding behind. So I started to cry. Like I woke up and I was up and I kind of thought of it, and it was a really happy moment for myself, and I was crying. And I remember looking out my window and thinking that no matter how much the clouds change and how much how maybe overcasted and you can't see the sun, is that there's always blue skies waiting ahead, and that there's always going to be brighter and better days. So I finally came to myself in self-acceptance, which is the next chapter. But the following, I finally had the courage to tell my mom that same day. It was a lot to handle. Oh my god. I texted her and I said, I need to talk to you. It's something really serious. And it was towards more of the end of the day. And she said, okay. And so we went in the Florida room, which is like a back room outside, but there's like a roof over it and everything. And we sat down and she started guessing. She was like, so is a girl pregnant? Which I don't know why everybody thought.
Player!
Shut up, Amanda. And after plenty of guesses, she finally got to it and said, are you gay? And I said, yeah, I am. And it was a lot of crying and it was a lot of questions. But, it was really nice because it wasn't I didn't feel so alone anymore. And I felt like that, whatever I was keeping all locked away, I could let out. And it was so great. And it is probably one of the more happiest moments of my life. One of the more happier moments of my life. Because it was just a time that I could be true to myself and I could finally let go of what that I was hiding. And, I actually have a person who was here when I came out. Isn't that right?
Now I gotta make myself look good for the camera.
My sister, who is poorly lit and in the background. Here, why don't you come over?
Okay.
So, TheGLyfers, this is my sister Amanda, and I want you to share some of your personal thoughts when you were there, because she was the second person I told. After I told my mom and it was the waterworks, she actually came out back where we were, and she was the second person to catch wind when it was really just happening. So, what were you thinking? Speak to camera.
Well, I'll start from the point where I'm downstairs and I just barge into the Florida room because I am a nosy person like that, and I don't like being left out of the conversation like that. And so I go and sit there, and and my mom tells me, your brother's gay. And I was like, you're kidding, right? Because people like to play jokes on me because I'm Mrs. Gullible with the blonde hair. And so I was like, you're kidding, right? And she said, no, serious. And then it finally hit me that this wasn't a joke. And I was accepting of it right away. I always have been beforehand. And it wasn't, going back on it now, I like that right then I didn't see like the steps leading up to this, but looking back on it now, I obviously see it and everything like that, and it's sort of like it comes to me, But the first question I did ask was I responded with, oh great, now we can talk about boys together. So it sort of just tells you
what kind of person she is. And, there's a lot of families that do it, that accept and are like mine, and there are families that aren't. But I want everybody to know that the point of my video is that my coming out went fairly well. told my dad, told my family, told everybody. I'm out to everybody in my school, and I am accepted. And I even have a possible date on Saturday. There's a lot of progression.
Baby's growing up.
There's a lot of progression of, ever since then. And I want people to not give up and to cling on to hope and to know that there are better and brighter days, and there are family like mine, and there are sisters like mine, and there are brothers that are like my sister, and parents and everybody else that are like my sister, and that will be accepting. And you can find someone like Amanda. Just look for your Amandas.
Look for me. I'll be there for you guys.
But I'm Zach, and this is
Amanda.
And I'm sorry this video is really long, but happy Tuesday, and I'll see you guys next week. Okay?
Bye.
Bye.